when all was said and done, I knew that God had my back. I knew that He was there for me. And it blew my mind how much He cared. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sharon and I am a God girl. I am so excited because it's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. But I feel like I have the energy, the grace, all of that to come back and come better. And so I'm really excited to be back on YouTube and to share just, what God has been doing in my life and to help, anyone out there who, might be going through a similar situation and, just need some advice on how to walk out this God journey. So I'm back. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. This is the year of release, as has been declared, at least for me in my church. So I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to all things being released onto me this year and to be released out of, some things as well. So yeah, jump on this journey with me. And God willing, I can come to you guys, much more frequently with some with some videos. But today I wanted us to talk about the goodness of God. I don't even know where to start from. I don't know where this video is going to start from. I haven't written anything down. This is just completely from my heart, just to share what God has done and how good He is and how He showed me His goodness. And yeah, so I mean, we'll jump right into it. When we talk about the goodness of God, it's not just in a song, it's in His actual manifestation day to day in our lives. Like, we read about it, we know God is good, we hear God is good, but till He reveals Himself to you, or till He takes you through a process for you to see His goodness, that's when you can fully understand what it means when someone says God is good, And this takes me back to last year. Last year was a bit in and out. That is a whole different testimony loading. But last year was very much, a wild ride. But for some reason, before everything just went crazy, or before everything just, took a left turn, God began to show me what it means when someone says God is good. And so this was like one day I was driving between two cities, and it was about like a 4-hour journey. And I do this trip pretty frequently. So anytime I'm driving, I'm either like, worshiping, praying, or just driving in silence and just, trying to communicate with God or meditate or something. And there was this one particular day that I was driving, and as I'm going, the weather is changing as I'm going. So it starts off being sunny, and then as I keep driving, like maybe 30 minutes later, it starts raining, and then there are dark clouds, and then there's like, overcast, and then sunny again, and it just keeps changing. And in that moment, God began to speak to me about His goodness, almost to use nature and to use the weather as an example of who He is, to say if we were to take God like the sun, which always shines no matter what, whether rain, sun, hail, snow, the sun as we know it, outside of our solar system, outside of our, of Earth, is always shining. Whether it's nighttime here, the sun doesn't stop shining. The sun still is a bright, force, and very powerful force. So whilst we're here, so I'm based in Canada. Whilst I'm in Canada and it's dark, in Australia there's sunlight, because why? The sun doesn't stop shining. We rotate around, or the earth rotate around the sun. And so as your life keeps, evolving and things change, it doesn't negate, it doesn't get rid of the goodness of God, because God is always good. If you take God as, you know, an example of what the sun is, his goodness doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't matter if you're going through a tough time. It doesn't matter if you're going through a trial. It doesn't matter if you're happy. God is still good. And as he began to explain this to me, I was just so in awe. I was just like, oh my gosh, God, like, this is you. This is who you are. This is, you know, who you are to us. And it just blew my mind that, you know, the world talks about how, you know, if God is good, then why did this happen? Or if God is good, why did that happen? But the truth of the matter is, God is good. Like, God is good, period. Like, it doesn't matter about your feelings. It doesn't matter what has happened. And most of the time, if God were to open our eyes to see the things that we don't see or the things that he sees, we would totally surrender to his goodness. Because certain things might happen to you, and you might feel like, well, if God was here, this shouldn't have happened. Or if God was here, that person shouldn't have left, or that person should have died, or whatever it is. But if God were to open our eyes to see the unseen, or to see the future, or to see whatever it is, you would see his goodness in protecting us. You will see his goodness in shielding us from certain things, from allowing certain things to happen now so that it doesn't happen again, or it doesn't become even worse off later down the line. And so it really just opened my heart, my eyes to see that, God, you're so good. And funny enough, just shortly after, I was there a few weeks after that, having that revelation about God's goodness, I went through a season, which I will share, you know, maybe later down the line or later down the year or something, where it was so, there was so much turmoil, there was so much trauma, there was so much everything. But in the end, seeing God bringing me to the end to see what he was saving me from, what he was keeping me from, totally blew my mind. Like, everything that I couldn't see, he could see and more. Everything that I didn't know, he knew and more. And so as I am, you know, wallowing in my sadness and in my pain and in my, you know, everything, he stepped in and he did it. Even though it hurt the way it happened, but he did it because he is good and he's good to me. Like, coming full circle and just knowing everything that I know about the situation, I know without a shadow of doubt that God is good to me and to you as well. Because what my situation could have been compared to what it is now, is something that is totally mind-blowing. My mind is just totally blown at the lengths that he would take to come to me, come to my rescue, right? The Bible talks about how nothing can separate us from the love of God. No height, no depth, no angel, no demon, no principality. Like, nothing can separate us from the love of God. And in his love is goodness. And so I just want to encourage somebody, you know, this is very quick and short, because I'm still getting my feet wet. But I just want to encourage somebody that it doesn't matter what you're going through, what you think you're going through, what you think God has allowed to happen. Because sometimes people might, you know, as a Christian, you might get so like entitled to say, well, God, you know, I serve you, I love you, you know, I'm your child. How could you let this thing happen to me? What I'm here to tell you is that you do not know the full thing, the full story. You do not know what he sees. You do not know what he knows. But being able to trust him with your life, regardless, like Job, you know, to say, you know, even though you slay me, even if it's you that is slaying me, yet I still trust you, right? And I think for me, that season really showed me how much I still need to give, or how much control or how much of my life I still need to surrender to him, so that no matter what season I'm in, I know he has my back. And that's what it came to at the end. When all was said and done, I knew that God had my back. I knew that he was there for me. And it blew my mind how much he cared. Something that, people struggle with, or people are not able to overcome, or, do not succeed in. God literally like stopped the entire world and stepped into my situation. And even that, I didn't understand what was happening. And even that, it looked like a bad thing. And even that, it looked like, God, how could you betray me like this? But in the end, when he showed me the fullness of what he saved me from, I was speechless. Up till now, I'm still speechless. Up to now, it will still make me cry. And it will make me just go into praise, because how? Like, it's mind-blowing. How does this make sense? And it makes me think of when a parent, is trying to shield their child or trying to give them something. You as a parent, for the most part, what is good for your child. You know what they need, what they don't need, what is excessive, what is going to harm them, what is going to hurt them. And even though your child might not agree in that time and might, kick and fuss and all of that, what is good for, what is good for them. And so being able to step in, or I remember growing up, my parents sometimes don't let us do certain things, and we're like, oh man, you guys are, we'll just throw a fit, or I will throw a fit. But they're shielding you from things that you do not know about. They're shielding from things that you do not see, because they've been ahead of you and they've seen that which you don't see. They have more experience in life, so they see and know that which you don't know. And that's the same thing with God, who is the creator of the world. He created it. He's been, the Bible calls him the Ancient of Days. Ancient of Days. He's been there from the beginning. We're only in 2023. God has been here forever. He's seen all things. He knows all things. He created all things. So trust him with all things. Let him be the one that, you surrender to in all things. Everything. And whether it looks like it's, turning a certain way or is going against your favor, all things turn out to be good for those who love the Lord. Every single thing. So you being a child of God, you accepted him as, Lord over your life. Psalm 23, there's a verse that says, he leads us down the path of righteousness for his name's sake. It's no longer about me. Once I sign up to say, I want to be a child of God, I surrender my life, I give my life to Jesus, it's now on him to ensure that we turn out right. It's now on him, because now he's tagged to us. His name is on us. He's stamped his name on us. So if our life turns out a certain way, it doesn't go to his glory, right? But if we say we're children of God, then that means that I have to turn out well. My life has to show it. My life has to show victory, has to embody everything God is about. So what makes you think that he's not going to step into your situation? Or what makes you think that he's not going to shield you from things that are bad for you or wrong for you? What makes you think that? Is it because of what you see? Or when something doesn't go your way, is it because of what you see? Or is it because of what God has said concerning you? When I came to the end of this, I guess revelation is what I'll call it, I just began to see and know that I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know what I see. I don't know what I see. It's not real. What is real is what God sees. And so I just want to encourage somebody that trust him. It doesn't matter what season you're in. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it feels like. You might feel like God is silent. You might feel like God has abandoned you. You might feel like, God, how can you let this happen? but trust him because he knows what he's doing. I think that was the biggest lesson for me for 2023, is that God knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Like, I've become so sure that God knows what he's doing concerning me, concerning his child. He knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and he's watching it play out. And if there's anything that does not fit in his plan, he will take it out. He will block it. If there's any blessing that is going to destroy me, he will block it. If there's anything that is going to derail me, he will block it. So in as much as I want that job, in as much as I want that husband, in as much as I want that child, in as much as I want that, blessing or whatever it is, if it's going to derail me from, my assignment, my purpose, my destiny in him, he will block it. And because we do not fully surrender our plans to him, we get upset. Because, God, I asked you to do this, but you're not doing it my way. I asked you to do this, but I want this. Like, I want this particular thing. But he has something else for you that is way better in alignment with your purpose and your destiny. So I wanted to share this really quickly. I'm still testing the waters, coming back slowly. But yeah, this was just a revelation that, if I were to say, 2022, like, sum it up, I'll say the goodness of God. Really, the goodness of God. The goodness of God. I tasted the goodness of God, and I wanted to share that with you in case you find yourself in that same season or a trial and period. Just know that God is good and he's got your back. Doesn't matter what anyone says, doesn't matter what it looks like. God is good. Period. God is good. Seasons may change. God is good. Nighttime may come. God is good. Rain may fall. God is good. And there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm not going to do promises, but I have some plans, for this year, and you will, by the grace of God, be seeing my face more and more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye.